Next up, yet another of the nation's existing problems the pandemic has exacerbated is homelessness. And this week, some of Broadway's biggest stars are joining together for a fundraiser to support the growing number of women and children facing homelessness right here in Boston through the nonprofit Healthcare Without Walls, which works to provide these groups with free medical care. The event is called Broadway Smashes COVID. It's hosted by singer and comedian Chris Mann, whom you may know from his starring role in the 2015-2016 tour of Phantom of the Opera, his stint on The Voice, or maybe this COVID rendition of the hit classic My Sharona, which made the rounds online early on in the pandemic.
When you gonna get to me, get to me, is it just a matter of time, Corona? Will I kill my family in quarantine? Yep. Or is it just a game in my mind, Corona?
God, I wish I had thought of that. Chris Mann joins me now, along with the founder and president of Healthcare Without Walls, Dr. Roseanna Means. Dr. Chris, it's great to have you both here. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I'm here to leave a legacy behind in my creative career, so I'm very proud of my toilet paper legacy that I've started. Thank you so much.
I'm sure your parents must be really proud, too. It's a great
I'm
achievement.
so proud.
You know, Doctor,
Music degree.
just for... Doctor, can you describe a little more fully than I did what you do exactly? What are the needs of the women and kids whom you serve in Boston?
Well, thank you, Jim. There are thousands of women and children in Boston who are experiencing homelessness or near homelessness of all ages. And our specialty is we fill in the gaps in care. So these women may go to a health center for their primary care or to a hospital clinic. But when you're homeless or poor, struggling, desperate, if you've been beaten, if you've been depressed, any number of things that get in the way, it's not always easy to connect the dots to get your medical care. So that's what we do. We go to the shelters where we meet the women and help fill in those gaps. And now we're about to open our first clinic in Boston so the women can come to us and we can continue to serve them.
How much more dramatic are the needs of the people you serve during the pandemic? I guess that's pretty obvious, but how much more dramatic are they?
Well, we've been screening at Rosie's Place since March, and we did over 22,000 screenings in just 2020 alone. And what we saw were women that were sleeping in crowded places. They weren't able to social distance. They weren't able to go places and wash their hands. There were not always public toilets available to them. They couldn't always get to their doctors to get their prescriptions filled. They couldn't always follow the right diets for hypertension or diabetes. So those are pretty desperate situations for these women. And we also have a program at Brigham and Women's for pregnant women trying to get obstetrical care. And that our team was able to continue to meet these women on the sidewalks to give them the things they needed.
So, Chris, we all know how talented you are, and I assume you're a pretty decent and caring guy. But why are you and your colleagues raising money for this in Boston? No, I'm serious. What's the connection?
Well, I do have a connection. Dr. Means' son is an incredible musician and graduate of the Berklee School of Music there, and he music directed for me on tour for years. So I've known Roseanna and her work. So I have a very strong connection to the family. But having been asked to do so many different charity events over the course of the last year, this one is different because it is so relevant. What Dr. Means is trying to do and is doing is such incredible work, and it directly is impacting the COVID-19 pandemic. And this is a way for us to actually have like a direct impact there. So it was an easy ask for me to get involved.
It's great. It's great. We'll talk more about what Thursday night's going to look like in a minute. But, Doctor, back to you. What's going on the vaccine front? I know that homeless people in shelters, congregate care, we're in phase 1 here. But if you treat a woman or her kid on the street, are they getting vaccinated? What's the status of that?
Yes, actually, the Boston Public Health Commission has done a really good job at rounding up people who are on the street and getting them vaccines. So right now we have a pretty high percentage of what we consider unhoused people who are able to get the vaccine. And in fact, we're really, really proud of that.
You know, Chris, I have a selection here, a little bit of a thing you did with Headley, performing Written in the Stars. This is from Aida, and this is going to be part of Thursday night. Am I right about this?
That's right. This is a bit of a rehearsal. This is a role that Heather won the Tony for, in fact. And it was my first show ever seeing a Broadway show, being from Kansas, was seeing her in this role. So incredibly exciting to have her on here and to sing this with her. So this is a clip from
Well, here's a little piece written in the stars. Here it is.
Once of God's experiment, in which we have no say, in which we're given paradise, but only one day.
That is unbelievably great. By the way, My Sharona's from Aida, too, isn't it, if I remember correctly? I believe it is.
Yes,
exactly.
It is.
My Corona, whatever.
Yeah, no problem.
What else are you doing? What else are people going to get Thursday night if they're smart enough to sign up for a ticket?
I mean, not to toot my own horn here, but our lineup is unbelievable. We have 3 Tony winners, Heather being included, Laura Benanti, John Lloyd Young, all Tony winners. Opera superstar Renee Fleming, are you kidding? TV superstars, the original Roger from Rent. We got Allison Porter, the winner of The Voice. We got Barrett Foy, Broadway superstar, and from NCIS LA. We got Jen Ushwitz from Glee. I mean, Cheyenne Jackson. I mean, whatever. No big deal. It's really amazing that this amount of talent joined on. But it's not surprising because what Healthcare Without Walls is doing is you can't argue with it. So it was a very, very inspiring that everybody wanted to join it. You're going to get an incredible show. Broadway may be dark, but we're going to light it up on Thursday.
That is beautiful. What a lineup. That's incredible. Doctor, if people want, beyond getting tickets, I'll tell them in a minute how to do it. If people want to learn more about your organization, want to volunteer, want to contribute, where do they go?
They go to our website, healthcarewithoutwalls.org.
Doctor, it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for your work. And
Thank
Chris, look, a kid from Kansas makes good. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
What are you going to do? Well, thank you, and I really encourage everyone to join us. This is going to be really great.
I'll be there. It sounds great. Chris, pleasure to meet you. Doctor, same to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Broadway Smashes COVID. The virtual benefit takes place this Thursday, February 25th at 7 p.m. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit the website on your screen, healthcarewithoutwalls.org/Broadway-smashes-COVID.